Okay, so I wanted to look at this case with you guys today. So this, when you first look at this case, a lot of people would say, this kid doesn't need braces or any sort of orthodontics. And there's an argument to be made for that. I mean, how straight do you want the teeth? When I look at his bite overall, there's not a lot of concerns that I have. His teeth are fitting together pretty well. In the front, his bite is a little bit deep, meaning that the overlap of the teeth is more increased, which sometimes can cause those lower teeth to wear down a little bit. So that's something we would definitely check for. But overall, there's a lot more right with his bite than not. But when we're looking at the overall picture, there's some other things that stand out to me. So one of those things is you'll notice when his lips are closed, you'll see these muscles tensing up. So what that indicates to me is that we call that lip strain. And what that indicates is that there is something going on that's preventing his lips from closing and relaxing comfortably when he closes his lips. Sometimes that means the teeth are too far forward and it's hard to get the lips over them. Sometimes it means there's an extensive amount of crowding, which in his case, there isn't a lot of crowding, a little bit on the bottom. But that's a sign that something's a little bit different. So what we do in cases like this is we continue to evaluate and we go over the options and we see where the root causes are. And in his case, there was an underlying jaw size discrepancy, meaning that his upper jaw was more narrow than his lower jaw. And because of that, when the arch is more narrow, if the sides are more narrow, the front tends to tip forward more. And that was causing that lip strain. So what we needed to do is we needed to make the jaw wider so that the arch could be more broad and those teeth within the arch could be uprighted and brought back into a more harmonious location, which would also result in him having a more broad smile. So we went through those things. We went basically the options. Option one, you can just kind of monitor and see how things go and hope, as long as your teeth aren't wearing down on the front, you're fine. Option two, we could do a very limited treatment and just resolve the crowding on the bottom and tighten up some of the spaces on the top and not address the underlying jaw size discrepancy. Or three, we could address the underlying jaw size discrepancy, make the jaw ideal width, and correct as much as possible if you're going to be going through treatment anyway. So he opted for that third option. So this is what that expander looks like. Because he's an older teenager, the jaw is not as easier to expand as if he were 5, 6, or 7. All right, ideally, when we do expansion, it works the best on the bones if it's done at a young age. As we grow, the bone starts to interweave and eventually becomes nearly fused together as an adult. So in his case, in order to get predictable expansion, I didn't want to just tip these teeth outward like braces would have done or aligners without anything else would have done. It would just tip the teeth further out and not affect the bone. We wanted to have the maximum amount of change of the bone. We wanted that bone to be wider so that arch form could be corrected and those teeth could come back. And so this is what that looks like. We fast forward 4 months. This is when the expander came out and the braces came off. Now, this patient didn't want braces. He wanted aligners. So you can see the improvements in the width of his smile. You can also see, although there is still some lip strain there, the improvement in the lip strain, and we're not quite done yet. So the braces came off. Those have done a lot of the heavy lifting that was needed at the time, and this patient wanted to finish in clear aligners. And so this is what that looks like. We go ahead and we set up those teeth and we make those final movements. We get the teeth fitting together in the best way possible. And then this patient will wear these aligners full-time throughout the day in order to establish and get that result in their mouth. And so this is what that looked like 13 months later. So when we look at his before and his after there, you can see the improvements in the profile. You can see the improvements in the width of his jaws. This is a result that we couldn't have got with braces alone. We couldn't have gotten it with aligners alone, and we couldn't have gotten it with this expander alone. But using all of the technology and tools at our disposal, we were able to get him this result in only 13 months. And not only do his teeth fit together and he is happy with his smile, but his airway health is going to be improved as well because the top jaw is connected to everything within the back of the throat, namely the airway. So it's going to be easier for him as he gets older to be able to breathe through his nose. He's going to be at a lower risk for things like sleep apnea down the road. If you guys have questions about your teeth, your jaws, your smile, or anything else in the orthodontic realm, shoot us a DM, call us, text us. We're happy to answer any questions that we can. You can always come in for a complimentary evaluation. We can get imaging. We can look at your teeth in a little bit more detail. But if you don't want to do that and you just want some quick answers, shoot us a quick photo of what you're concerned about, and we will do our best to get back to you and answer those questions as quickly as we can. Thanks so much. Appreciate you guys. Have an amazing week.